Nerd Feed!
Hey everyone, Devin and Timothy here, along with two special guests, Mike and Julie. We are going to do like a round robin of our top, how many is that? 16 MCU films. We're ranking them all, 1 through 16. While talking, I'll put up a graphic here in the middle that will show ours 16 movies comparing. It just takes too long to talk it all out. So we're going to start off here with our favorite ones. My favorite is Winter Soldier, the second Captain America film. Timothy's favorite is
Iron Man.
Iron Man, which we thought was a pretty good debate. Start off, why Iron Man?
If I had to pick between just all the Marvel characters that at least the MCU has, I like his origin story the best.
Okay.
It's kind of, if you go based off of the cartoons, I mean, you know, everybody knows who Iron Man is, but just starting from the bottom, just being just a rich playboy, being stuck, was it Iraq or somewhere?
Oh yeah, the Middle East.
Yeah, somewhere in the Middle East. The action and the story of him becoming Iron Man, I just talked about it with just I enjoyed the entire movie for it.
Ramped up.
Okay, yeah. We also call that Batman.
Well, that's another debate for another time.
I have Winter Soldier as my top. Obviously, there's a little bit biased because I'm a huge Captain America fan, but as well as Winter Soldier took the genre to the next step. It was in the second phase where everything seemed to be dark and gloomy, especially the Iron Man 3 and its postpartum, PTSD and everything. And they tried to make it dark, but it failed because they tried to make it too funny at the end with the villain switch.
Yep.
Where Winter Soldier came in and actually gave you a pretty good depth of a story, and it kept you intrigued the whole way. Obviously, Bucky Barnes returns as this Winter Soldier, and Cap finds out, and it's causing turmoil. He doesn't know because it's his best friend. He can't kill his best friend, but he wants his best friend
So
back.
you was my best friend.
Yeah, you're my best friend, Martha. So yeah, so I mean, it's to me it's a good story, but then it's also a good spy thriller. We discussed earlier, it's not necessarily a comic book movie, and it's its own genre. The Russo brothers did an amazing job of taking a comic book movie and made it a genre movie, not just a comic book movie, but it's a spy thriller. They took it piece by piece, and there was twists and turns, and Robert Redford as a villain that doesn't necessarily have he doesn't have any villain powers.
It definitely,
but he's the main villain.
I definitely would say compared to the first one, it gave you a reason to care about the characters compared to the first
True. I do agree that because especially after Captain America 1, which I have ranked 11 out of 16, it was all right, but to me it was honestly as well rushed just so they can get to the Avengers. Which then Avengers I have as 2. The only nitpick I can have for Avengers is Captain America's suit. It looks like the Puerto Rican flag. That's about it. I also love the Winter Soldier Captain America suit. That's one of my favorite ones, the more modernized one and everything. Let's compare these lists real fast and what else we got.
Okay.
A little bit different here.
So with number 2, I was with Avengers. And then number 3, I put Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, okay.
Not Cap 2, Winter Soldier.
So I'm the only one here out of us 4 that have seen Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man at 4, but I see you have Guardians of the Galaxy at 4. I have it at 5. And then we both have Avengers 2 as
number
6. You have Ant-Man pretty high.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
For a character I never gave any crap to.
Where do you have Ant-Man ranked?
Number 7.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have Ant-Man at 9.
Okay.
Right below half.
If I just from the characters, it's for the simple reason that I never knew anything of Ant-Man or even Guardians of the Galaxy. I went in just okay, let's see what it's about. And what actually kept me what I've only seen it once, but what I enjoyed about the movie is perfect guy for Ant-Man. What is his name? The actual
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Yep.
Perfect guy to play them. His comedic aspect of the movie, because I love comedies outside of horror movies, but I enjoyed it. I don't even like the action too. It wasn't a lot of it, but just becoming Ant-Man and learning something of, because like I said, I didn't know anything about him. So giving it just a fair shot. It's the same with Guardians of the Galaxy. 2 movies I never thought I would watch because I didn't know anything about them. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I had it at 9, right below Civil War and above Doctor Strange. I had Civil War at 8. I wish switched Avengers 2 and Civil War just a little bit. But it's 6, 7, 8 between Avengers 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Civil War. Those are kind of it's like a 3-way tie between them. When I first saw Civil War, I loved it. I was like, yes.
You were so hyped for that.
I was so hyped for it. I even saw it a month early before everyone else because I always have to mention that story. But I was so hyped for it. But as it's been on Netflix, even though I own it, I'll watch it on Netflix.
Kind of get disappointed.
Not necessarily disappointed, but I see its flaws a little bit more, and I can see where where a little bit of the criticisms come from and everything. I think it still has a decent story. I do feel kind of agree where it's rushed just a little bit.
Do you think they should have kind of stuck to the comic version of it?
Civil War should have been an Avengers movie. It should not have been a Captain America movie.
Okay.
It should have been an Avengers movie. It should have been this Avengers movie before Thanos. Thanos should have been Avengers 4. This one should have been it, kind of leading to okay, now they're a broken team that they have to come back together for. Because now they're a broken team, but we have movies in between. We have Spider-Man.
We actually know what the team's even doing at that point.
Right.
Everybody's on their own.
Which we can identify that the team's broken. They kind of make a little bit of fun of it in Spider-Man. When you guys see it, you'll kind of laugh at those jokes. And then obviously in Thor, you see Thor and Hulk are teamed up because they're it kind of hopefully explains how Hulk ended up there.
I would even think that Star Wars just talk about the whole situation himself because neither two of them wasn't even a part of the entire Civil War itself.
Right, yeah. So hopefully it explains. More than likely, I could see that take place during Civil War.
Do you guys think that Civil War should it have actually been Captain America? You kind of touched on that, but do you think they forced that title almost? To me, that was kind of a problem.
I think they did because a lot of people were pushing for Iron Man 4. And that's kind of the best way they can put it. Iron Man 4. I mean, I really was wishing. Remember when they had that Iron Man announcement? Mm-hmm. And we were like, what is it? What
did he give? I forgot what he gave.
It was just some Avengers.
Like a little poster or something.
Yeah, some giveaway. Come see us in the filming.
You thought there was going to be a big announcement?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Iron Man Civil War. Because I'm like, you can't just fit Civil War into just Captain America's movie. Because you have to have the other Avengers.
It feels so strange that they called it Captain America.
Civil War.
And it almost seems like that in that particular movie, it wasn't necessarily about him.
He felt ancillary. He was pivotal in the divide.
Right. I mean, the thing is, in Civil War, if it was an Avengers movie, I think it would have been better for people to make decisions of where they team Cap or they team Iron Man. When you're watching Captain America Civil War, they kind of lean towards you wanting to be pro Cap. And Iron Man be the bad guy, which in hindsight, I mean, I was Team Cap, but in hindsight, Iron Man made great points. During the movie, in the beginning, they did a good job of doing that, but as the movie went on, it was Cap was right.
It almost seemed, at least at the beginning, that Cap was a burden to the movie itself. You didn't need him. He forced it on us.
He was he's kind of emo almost too.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to do that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 out the coffee shop.
I'd say the bright spot of Civil War was Black Panther.
Yeah?
Black Panther. Which,
nobody gives him credit, though.
Yeah, Black Panther, when he first came on the screen, was amazing. And then, I honestly can't wait for Black Panther's movie.
Yeah, I like this trailer.
Which, so far confirmed, no Winter Soldier, which is disappointing me because I was hoping he would pop up in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, because he got frozen at the end.
Didn't it feel like Black Panther was a more important character than Spider-Man?
Yeah.
As far as the plot goes?
And he was even announced before Spider-Man. Spider-Man came very last second.
Yeah, shoehorned.
Very last second.
Do you guys think that he was even needed for the movie at all?
Black Panther?
He wasn't.
Spider-Man? No.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was originally not even part of the story. Until Sony's fuck up.
But...
Yep, until Sony's fuck up and their leaks is how we got Spider-Man.
Yeah, those nudes.
Yeah, Spider-Man nudes. Spidey nudes. Do you really have Guardians of the Galaxy 2 at the very bottom?
Wow.
Yeah. Really? No, well, I'm gonna replace it with Thor 2 is my last one.
Your review
okay, well, how's Guardians of the Galaxy 2 15?
Because you said really good things about that when we did our reviews.
If I had gun to my, it's 14 actually. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If I really
let's see what time. Let me make sure. Okay, we're at 10 minutes. Okay. You have 2 minutes to explain yourself.
If I have to pick It was boring. I'm sorry, it was boring.
What?
Was it just like your big picture looking at all the movies and like it just doesn't hold a piece of your mind?
It from what I expected from the first one. Again, I didn't know shit about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised with the first one. The second one, I'm like, okay, we get some action, we'll get some story, something leading up to Infinity Wars. I got nothing. I miss my dad.
More of the same.
Were you hoping for more action?
Yes.
So was I.
Or
I
actual story. Like the story, it made no sense to me in the sense of like, why do I need to know any of this?
Were you upset that they were isolated just on basically Ego Planet, like where the other one they were going to planet to planet?
Yeah,
planet.
but even still, like you wanted to fight your dad.
They introduced the dad. And
I mean, I've done that before.
That'd probably be a better movie than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Devin versus
Devin killed his stepdad.
I mean, there was a life lesson in there. I can honestly say there were like life lessons in it, but I didn't go see that.
I have it pretty high. I have it at 7. I loved it. I mean, I didn't.
If
think
I
it
had
was,
to compare it between the first one, it's night and day. It's not even.
yeah, I didn't think it was better
I
than
think
the
it's
first one. But I liked it a lot. I thought it was fairly entertaining. I took my 7 and 5-year-old to it, and they enjoyed it. They sat through the whole movie and loved it.
Let me ask you a question:
Film critics.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Infinity
2
Wars.
or Wonder Woman?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's right below Logan for my top comic book movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a great
That'll
movie.
be another topic.
It's another topic, yeah. All right, I guess that's our spot. Next up is Julie and Michael. Good old domestic
Partners.
partner talk.
Step over some cables real quick.
Yeah, please don't forget this.
All right, you got your list?
I got my list.
Okay, so we'll run down our list. You want to go from bottom to the top?
Alright.
16 to 1, I guess.
So 16 for me is Spider-Man, the new one. I haven't seen it, so I'm
Understandable.
not going to rate it.
Valid point.
15 is Incredible Hulk. Just wasn't a huge fan. 14 is Thor 2. 13 is Thor. My number 12 is Iron Man 2. Number 11 is Iron Man 3. 10 is Captain America. Number 9 is Doctor Strange. 8 is Avengers 2. 7 is Winter Soldier. Number 6 is Ant-Man.
Devin is core.
Devin slamming the doors.
I'm leaving my
number
Devin's
5
leaving
is-
his own house.
You guys can finish this.
5 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I do agree with Tim, though. It did need some more action. There had quite a bit of lulls, but I love the characters. Number 4 is Civil War, because I really like that one. I like Bucky Barnes.
Is that your favorite Captain America movie?
Yes.
Winter Soldier's so awesome.
And then
Doing that.
number 3 is Avengers. Number 2 is Iron Man. And my number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy, why is that your number 1?
I actually like seeing Thanos play a bigger part in some of the movies, because we keep hearing about him and you see like little tidbits, but he never was really like any kind of
Kind
focal
of got
point.
into the minutia of his little crew.
Exactly, like the different things he's doing behind the scenes to make Infinity Wars happen. Like you got definitely more of a sense of that, and it was kind of nice to see. The characters too, I really liked the characters. Can't help myself. Groot's my favorite.
Groot.
Groot.
You like him better as Baby Groot or Big
Yeah.
Groot?
Ooh,
Or
that's a
Teen
tough
Groot.
one.
Yeah,
Teen Groot at the very end.
Okay, that would be cool to see more of though.
I
wonder if
Teen
they
Groot.
will.
Infinity Wars.
Is that what they're saying? Interesting. Well,
That would
this
be
little
interesting.
pubescent. Groot.
Supposedly, yeah.
Ooh, that is a tough one. Probably Baby Groot, just because.
Okay, so do you think that was one of the big issues with Guardians of the Galaxy 2? You have it ranked high, but do you think the fact that it was too much Baby Groot and whatever that guy's name is?
Oh, Drax.
Oh.
Yeah.
That I will agree. I'm Devin yelling in the background here,
He was
but
funnier in the second one, but it was like, okay, we get the
it was
joke.
over the top.
Yeah.
It was too much.
And I didn't necessarily enjoy his interaction with the new chick. who's
Oh,
like-
Mantis?
Yeah,
Oh,
Mantis.
She was-
Mantis was
She
huge.
was
I-
kind of shoehorned into it.
It got on my nerves.
And they're like the same character almost. It was just like, okay, we both
Yeah.
don't detect sarcasm.
The one thing from Guardians of the Galaxy would actually tick me off for number 2
Yeah.
because there wasn't enough Thanos. I was expecting him to be a part
Yeah.
of
Me
it.
too.
A bigger part.
Yeah.
The Thanos, they just keep like arm's reach, like keep him out of the movie. It's like, come on, like let's get some more story. Like, they're not building up Infinity War enough in the movies. I feel
No.
like, if
And that's
you're-
where I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was leading more towards because
Yeah.
everything's out of space. They already know about Thanos. Everybody on Earth don't know
Has
nothing.
no idea.
Yeah.
Unless you're a comic book fan, I think, yeah, Devin, Julie, like, they probably get, me and Tim aren't huge Marvel guys. I don't really understand why Thanos is such a, like, a pivotal character. I understand he's, like, the big bad. Like, he's,
Yeah.
you know, end all be all. But he doesn't, they're not showing enough of him to give me a reason to be like, oh, Infinity War is going to be the shit. You know?
Agree. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your number one. I'll go through my list real quick. I didn't rank Spider-Man because I also have not seen it. I have Thor 2 at 15, Thor 1 at 14. I put Iron Man 2 at 13. At the time, I actually liked that movie quite a bit, but in like the whole scheme of things, not that great with all the other movies.
So you like 3 better than 2?
I do, yeah. Captain America 1 is number 12. The Incredible Hulk I put 11. At the time, I thought it was a pretty awesome like experience, but that was before we got all these amazing comic book movies. And number 10, I have Avengers 2. Which when I saw it originally in theaters with you, I think, and I thought it was really, really good, but like I saw it again in IMAX with her, and like I was just like,
It was weird.
what's the point? Like they just like they force those like cool Avengers 1 moments, you know, like
Right.
let's have the camera spin around again.
Yeah.
They're frozen, they're flying. It's like, all right.
There was nothing original in Avengers 2. It's basically just somewhat of a rehash of Avengers 1.
And like they went off to some like distant country and he's gonna drop the country down. Like,
And Ultron, even at that, wasn't the big bad that the trailer made him out to be.
Yeah.
When we first got the trailer, I was like, he's gonna just literally murder every single one of them.
The trailers really advertise him as this like scheming, like puppeteer, like kind of behind the scenes.
Right, like an actual like foe that they can go head to head.
That they couldn't kill too. It seemed like he was gonna like live on as these movies.
Yeah, like how are they gonna kill Ultron? That's exactly how I got from the trailers too. Like
because he's a robot. Like
Yeah.
he's sentient and he's inside like a giant network. So whatever. Apparently you can kill him.
apparently you can block the internet too.
Somebody just unplugged the internet.
Turn off
Yeah.
your spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9, I have Doctor Strange, which I thought I was going to rank higher because I actually like surprisingly liked that movie a lot in theaters. That was a really cool movie.
It's just that middle part of ranking is tough because,
It
like you
is
said,
really tough.
Doctor Strange's good, but there's better movies. But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Literally just like you could rotate, like if you rotate enough, you could take number 10 and put it up to number 6 because like it's just hard to stack them. After Doctor Strange, I have Iron Man 3 number 8. I kind of think that's pretty high because when I look back at the movie, I don't think it's that great, but it was a fun movie to watch in theaters. Captain America: Civil War is number 7. Kind of like you guys were saying, like it just looking back on it, it felt like it was too long. They could have got rid of a lot of the meat in the middle. Bucky and Captain America should have been more interesting characters. Like Bucky was still cool. Like he had some of the best parts in the movie.
Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky's awesome.
I can't wait for him to eat.
And
America.
I think everybody kind of overhyped the Spider-Man parts. Like I thought he was cool in the movie, but like he felt so unnecessary.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He should have just showed up at the airport scene like, oh shit, they got Spider-Man. That would have been fine.
But then he'd have been a Russian Spider-Man, like you'd have got my webs.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have Guardians of the Galaxy 2 number 6. Pretty much everything you guys said about that, I would agree with. I have Ant-Man at number 5.
Okay.
Which is kind of high, but I thought it was hilarious. It's just like with Captain America: Winter Soldier. It was one of the movies that felt like a genuinely cool like heist movie. It felt like it was subverting the genre expectations. Guardians of the Galaxy, I have a number 4. I almost put that at 1. I don't know how it kind of crept down to 4, but I really like that movie. I think it was better than the second one for multiple reasons. I have Avengers 1 and number 3. At number 2, I have Winter Soldier. Almost put that at 1. I think on the list it is the best movie. Just as far as like a comic book experience, it did not feel like a comic book movie, but that's not like a discredit either.
Okay.
It's legitimately good. Then the number 1, I have Iron Man. I think just as a movie experience, it was super unique at the time. I don't think we'd seen anything like it really. Like Batman Begins was before that. But and obviously Dark Knight came out the same year, but it was so just like shit, this is what Marvel can do. Like I mean, after seeing like Hulk and Punisher, like the movies that came before, like
However, the Punisher with Thomas Jane is actually not a bad movie.
It's not.
Punisher Warzone ruined it.
You're talking about the first.
Except for that one
First
scene,
Punisher is good.
the scene in the kitchen with a shotgun, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That was about it though.
Still haven't seen Warzone yet.
I don't know if you should. But it's a movie.
Well, supposedly the villain is from Warzone is the villain in the Netflix series.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Jigsaw Face or whatever.
he was kind of an interesting villain, at least.
Yeah.
I guess, whatever. So yeah, Iron Man at number 1. The reason I put Iron Man at number 1 is just like I said, it was a really cool experience, kind of out of the left field. Like, I think everybody wanted it to be good, but didn't realize it was going to be fucking awesome. I still looking back, like that's one of those movies I can watch again and again and again. I still like it. There could have been maybe less Jeff Bridges screaming at the end.
Yeah.
What do you keep saying?
Only gripe I have about that movie is
Stark!
Yeah. Stark Toner. One big gripe I have about that is them making Jeff Bridges look jacked. Like,
yeah, and he's like never worked out a day in his life.
Right. Like, I'm like, all right, Obadiah Stane, get over it. Like,
I missed that Rhodey. That was a cool Rhodey.
Oh. The Terrence Howard Rhodey. He just had to accept the money for Iron Man 2. That's all. He could not be on Fox Network right now.
Okay, so anyways, on your list, like why did you have what was your 15th ranked?
15?
Yeah.
What,
Was it Hulk? Or Thor
Oh,
2?
Incredible Hulk.
So why did you put that at the bottom?
I don't know, I was bored by it. And I really it was boring. It was basically the same thing as the Eric Bana version of Hulk.
Yeah.
It was the same story, basically.
They just kind of did the same thing, except they
Yeah.
had the Red Hulk.
And I wasn't thrilled by the villain either. Like, I was just like, really?
Abomination, yeah.
Abomination?
Isn't
Like,
he
that
like
was...
he's a British actor too, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to make him
Yeah.
look jacked.
Which is weird. He's still alive. He didn't die,
they didn't
so
explain that
Yeah.
he
part.
can pop up in any other movie.
Well, he doesn't, but...
I have a question for Mike. Why do you have Thor 2 lower than Thor? What
So-
makes Thor 2 worse than the
So,
first?
I
That's
remember-
a really good question.
So I remember talking to you guys after we all saw Thor 2, and we're like, man, Thor 2 was kind of cool.
Well, I didn't see Thor 2 with you guys.
right after a divorce.
Right after divorce,
It was
yeah.
probably bad timing, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
buddy. But we all talked about it, but like, I've watched it since, like, there's no story in that movie. Like, at least in Thor, like, we had an origin story. Natalie Portman played a more important role in that movie as well. And Kat Dennings was less annoying and shoehorned into it. I think on a story level, Thor 2 was just dumb. Like, it was a rehash of the first one, but then they started adding in all these extra terrestrial elements to it. The story makes no fucking sense. And I think at least with all these other movies, you can kind of look at it and be like, well, they were trying something story-wise, but Thor 2 is just like, all right, we got to make this guy a cool Avenger, so here's more of this. And it wasn't that great.
I would say the Thor 2 issue I have is they had a big part on Earth. Because this is right after the Avengers, and there's still a team. So if Thor's on Earth, why is the other Avengers not coming?
Which you can say with quite a few of the movies, too.
Right, and it's literally like another alien invasion. Especially after the first alien invasion, you would think they would come after for the second alien invasion. Like,
even if they all have PTSD, like...
Right.
let's get them going.
Just little clips here and there of, other Avengers showing up to help fight, like, something. Not,
Right.
Yeah. And that movie, I think of all of them, like, oh shit, we need help. But instead, it's just Thor.
The only thing I do like for Thor 2 is at the end, they finally confirmed the Infinity Stones with the Collector's cameo in the end credits.
Yeah,
that was one of the biggest, like, the best, one of the best, in my opinion, end credit scenes. Ooh, that's another debate we're going to have.
We should talk about end credits.
Next podcast, our favorite end credits of the MCU.
We can talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 2's 46 end credits scene. But yeah, I think that was the only part of the story that was like, oh, okay, this is tied into the Avengers, because they had really no mention of. Did Captain America show up or something at one point in that movie?
Yeah, Loki turned into him.
Yeah, he just like walked in. Oh, it's Captain. Oh no, it's not Captain America. So yeah, it's kind of a pointless movie. But yeah, that's Julie and I's list. Unless you wanted to add something. All right. Well done, guys.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to Birdfeed PC. All our pages on SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are all Birdfeed PC, all lowercase, all one word.